for me, I have no friends. I don't care about that.
Evan is a robot.
I'm getting emotional right now thinking about that.
Good.
Yeah, that I should have pushed harder. I wear that. That's my fault. I don't think people inspire themselves enough. I think it's a bunch of fake inspiration that you'll post up on Instagram and say, look at me, and then you actually feel like you suck.
Well, welcome to the Something to Prove podcast with Mark and Evan. As Evan, you just mentioned in a little pre-ramble, yesterday was your last event.
Yeah.
You 90-day tour. I guess you're on day 88 or 87 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. 23 cities that you hit.
Yeah.
You've driven across the country. You've broken your neck. Mm-hmm. You've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like a sports reporter. Ready? So here we go. So like, Evan Carmichael, you did really great out there on the field. Listen, man, what was the one highlight of the last 3 months for you?
Breaking my neck. Yeah, the best.
So what's so great about it?
The opportunity to prove to myself what I'm made of. To keep going on the tour while having a broken neck. Like the opportunity to actually be at your limit of your capabilities.
Do you feel this is your limit, or this is just the limit that you are currently in? You were in a lot of pain last night. You looked like you were in a lot of pain last night.
Last night was more painful than the past couple workshops that I've done. That wasn't fully my limit. Like, I'm starting to heal, right? But the event in Kansas City where I can only do an hour and a half, I had to tap out. Like, I'm done, right? And then just keeping up and getting going. Like, what are our normal excuses for not doing something? I'm tired. I don't believe in myself.
I don't have time. I don't have money.
All
I'm
this
feeling
stuff,
tired.
right?
I'll do it tomorrow.
Right? Those are the typical
I don't have
ones.
People. No one's here going to help me do this.
They're fake walls. Mm-hmm. They're fake.
Good, keep going.
This is real.
This is real.
It's actual. I've never been pushed against my physical pain threshold like this, mm-hmm. and kept going. Right? It's like this is the best. I'm pumped. This is a highlight. Before this, I don't want to have other highlights, but just our ability to keep going and keep doing the thing is inspiring to myself.
Are you giving yourself chills right now?
Kind of.
Listening to myself talk.
Listen, how often do you inspire yourself?
I don't know. Pretty often, I think.
Whatever, Mark.
You don't think that's true? No. You don't think I inspire myself enough?
No, I don't think people inspire themselves enough. I think it's a bunch of fake inspiration that you'll post up on Instagram and say, look at me, and then you actually feel like you suck. I inspired myself, and I think that's great. Like, there's micro inspiration that you can get on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Hey, I inspired myself because I did that. I had that awkward conversation I didn't want to have, or I did the active service that I was nervous to do. Great. But this, at least for me, whatever, for other people, maybe it's nothing. For me, it's amazing. This is next level. It's like the ability to push through with a broken neck and concussion and everything else. I think it's the best. I'm going to look back on this tour when I'm 65 years old and say, man, 2019,
okay.
That tour was just insane. I can't believe we did that.
So here's your challenge then, right? You've shared with me that you're terrified, not terrified, but you're worried about becoming an aging rock star.
Yeah.
The person who's living the past. The greatest moments were 50 years ago.
Right?
You're
Holy cow, Mark, this is crazy. It's going to happen now.
How do you... Yeah. Like right now, you're 38 or whatever, 39 years old.
Yeah.
You're having this AD BC moment. There's life before breaking your neck. There's life after breaking your neck. There's the new tolerance of what you can push through.
I like that, AD BC. Okay.
Right? You're going to find yourself 55, 60, 65, 70.
Yeah.
What if this is it? What if this is the hardest thing you face?
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
You're not playing along? You got to play along.
I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to. But it's,
I can see it in your eyes.
It's like, okay, yeah. But
the aging rock star.
You really tried. You really tried to sell it hard. I appreciate the effort. That was great.
I told you last night. You need to play along more in the podcast, right?
It's funny. You know what? I haven't brought that up in maybe a year.
Aging rock star?
Yeah.
I talked about it at Robbins.
Was it?
Yeah, Tony Robbins.
That was November?
November, 11th we got back. November 7th we left. Those dates, the November 7th, November 11th, life-changing time for me.
Life-changing time?
I know the dates.
I don't feel like that's a...
It's not a thing anymore?
Yeah, I don't feel
it's
like
literally disappeared in the last 4 months?
I think so. I just don't feel... I feel like I'm going to be 75 years old and crushing it.
You maybe.
I just feel like I am.
Well, you will.
But I'm not worried about the aging rock star.
But that stuff was tied to people in your family, right? Like people that you know, people in your family, things that you worried about. So did you work through that and get over that? I wasn't even planning to talk about this today, but now aging rock star.
No.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah,
it's just not even.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had one of these moments too. I've always been, like I struggle with my weight. I've been an emotional eater my whole life.
Okay.
So I grew up in a family, like in a household where I was like always hungry.
Okay.
And there was all these weird things with food. So when I grew up and I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, that was like freedom to me. It was like, I can eat this because there was always these crazy things about food. And so I've always been an emotional eater. And then I was telling someone the other day, like literally, I don't know when it disappeared, but I do not care about food at all anymore.
Okay.
And I don't know when that happened. I don't know why that happened.
Okay.
But, I get stressed out. My first thinking isn't like, oh, let's go get some sushi or let's you're stressed, treat yourself with something really yummy. It's like, I don't care.
So what do you replace it with? You're stressed, what happens?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I don't know. Here's the thing that you can't see on the video, guys, how awkwardly close we actually are to one another.
Our legs are touching. You're fine, Mark.
Like when I turned to speak to Evan, there is literally like...
I wish you brushed your teeth this morning, Mark.
I did brush my teeth this morning. Did you brush your teeth this morning?
I did.
I don't know. That's a good question. What did I replace it with? I'll have to figure that out.
Well, when you're stressed out, what do you do?
I know that I check out. Like I call it ostriching. The ostrich puts her head in the sand.
Okay.
When I'm really stressed, when I'm really pushed, I just completely check out.
What does that mean? Like you walk away? You go outside?
Yeah. No, not even that. I'll be like... Okay.
Walk away, Mark. Walk away.
What is that from?
I don't know. It's some movie. Just walk away.
No, like I'll be like, I'm not going to deal with this today. I'll deal with it tomorrow morning when I'm fresh, when I'm in the office. So,
oh, wow.
So, no, it's not like 2 p.m. and I'm like, see ya. Like, I'm talking about like it's 7, it's 8 p.m. I'm really tired. I'm really stressed out. It's like I'll just deal with this tomorrow.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's through. I got to go through.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep. I don't even know how could you sleep that night? I couldn't be able to sleep.
I'm really tired when I go to bed. I get up early. I'm really exhausted by the time I get to sleep.
Yeah, if I was stressed out at 8 o'clock or something, I'd have to solve it. or I wouldn't sleep.
Anyway, here's the topic I want to talk to you about.
I get stressed out about Mark Drager and then wake up at 3 a.m. and send me an email.
I love it. Except for the emails are usually pretty direct and...
As opposed to what? My regular conversation? Which is not direct?
It's just not fun sometimes.
It's not fun.
It's not fun sometimes.
I don't expect the 3 a.m. email to be fun.
Having the tar kicked out of you all the time.
It's all the time.
You're
fine.
I'm fine. Here's the topic of the week. The idea of fear of success.
Okay.
So, yesterday at the workshop, this gentleman was talking about how he felt that he had a fear of success, and that fear of success is holding him back. One, I guess, help me understand how this actually manifests itself, because I don't know if I really understand it, if it's actually real. I don't know if I believe that the fear of success is real, or if that's just what we call something when you actually have other things. And then if it is real, how do people get over it? How do people work past that? The more successful you are, the more you're going to grow those around you, your friend base, the things you do. It opens things up. You kind of have to shed your old way of thinking, shed your old life, and sometimes you lose friends and this and that. Is that what people are talking about when they say a fear of success?
I think there's a couple of things. I think it's one, comfort zone. You're in a new world that you don't recognize. That's not where you grew up. It's not familiar to you, so you don't want to be there. Mm-hmm. You're afraid of the change. I think, too, definitely tied to family, friends, leaving your old community behind. Your friends might think, oh, now you've made it. Now you're not one of us. Now you've moved to that other neighborhood, and you're going to lose all the people you grew up with. And then I think it's also worthiness. You don't believe you're worthy of good things. Just like a camera guy who doesn't want to touch a $35,000 lens. Touch it!
I wanted him to start juggling
Yeah.
$35,000.
Touch it. You're worthy of touching a $35,000 lens, right? We don't feel that we're worthy of things. And so with success comes these things. So I think it's something in those three. With that guy, I would have gone through one of those paths to see like where's.
Oh no, this is like helping me understand it so much better. So I can identify with the worthiness. You know, we run into this with our incomes and our salaries. If we just believe, we are entitled, we should earn $50,000 a year. Even if we want more, we'll only earn $50,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe we should earn $250,000 a year, then you're going to find a way to earn that, but you're not going to earn $1 million then, or whatever it is. I hadn't even thought about the worthiness thing. That just might be the answer. You may have just answered it all.
Well, I think it's an individual thing. I mean, if now you start, if you're worth $100 million, and you still then go back to your church, and now you're looked at differently at your church, and now you feel not as welcome, or you're expected to do more, or people don't want to invite you over anymore, and now you've lost your circle of friends, right? A lot of people worry about that. And so like, oh, well, I don't want to go have success. And you can tell yourself, yes, well, I can contribute more and donate more and be a part of more, but the way that your friends will look at you will be different.
Yeah, I have 2 or 3 people that I know quite close who have grown their businesses from 0 to $80, $100 million. And the first thing I ask is, when you started becoming successful, were you able to keep your friends? And all of them say no.
Right.
Not that they changed. They don't feel they changed. They feel that people don't know how to treat them.
So for me, I have no friends. I don't care about that.
Evan is a robot.
No, I'm a feeler. Okay, I'm an INTF, INFJ, INFJ. Mark is obsessed with Myers-Briggs.
I'm not obsessed. You bring it up more often than I do.
Because only around you.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are terrified of that. If you really care about your friends,
okay,
and you really care about your family, and now you're different in any way, where they're now jealous of you, that will prevent people from, they'll sabotage themselves. The worthiness thing, you think you're worth a certain amount, and it works the other way too. If now you go down to 0, like, well, I'm going to bounce back.
Yeah, I'm worth way more than 0.
I'm worth way more than 0, right? I'm worth $100K a year. Great. So now but then you go back to your 100K and then you're stuck at, or whatever, 50K or 75K, then you're stuck there until you feel you're worth more. You taste it.
You know, I heard, well, she's the founder now of Bumble, the dating app. Previous to that, I believe she was at Tinder, and she ran into some troubles and left on a messy thing or this or that. But when she departed from the company, there was a crap storm of terrible PR, like the worst PR, and people said the worst things about her. And she had the hardest year that I think any entrepreneur can have, of just like the entire world attacking you and tearing you down. And so now she's going on to do Bumble. She's going on to do some really interesting things. I don't know much about her, but what I thought was amazing was that this founder spoke about the fact that there was no way to prepare for it. And it was the worst thing that's ever happened to her, but here's what she knows. She could do it again.
Yeah.
She could do it again.
I think it's the best.
And it didn't tear her down.
That's my breaking my neck. Like, that's the emotional equivalent of it. You don't force yourself into those situations. And so when they come, it's a blessing. It's a chance to prove yourself. It's a chance to grow. You get defined by it. Either you succumb or you grow through.
Okay, so you taste it.
So I think if you want to improve your worthiness, it's 2 things. One, you have to surround yourself daily with the things that represent the new belief system that you want to have. So you're surrounded by people, whether it's physical people like in front of you, or videos or books or podcasts or content, people who have the belief that you want to develop.
People you can poke. Hey, I can actually poke Evan. He's sitting beside me now.
For some, sure, right? And
the aspirational mentors.
Yeah, daily. So if it's whoever talks about money, if money is your thing that you're super afraid of, then whoever's talking about money constantly and has a different belief system that you want to have, then consume that person on a daily basis, or those groups of people. It'll shift your thinking. So I think about in my space, I think about Grant Cardone and Gary Vee, and they have opposite views on things. Where Gary will talk about, hey, go do the thing that you love, take less, go sit in a studio apartment with 8 friends and eat ramen to do the thing that you love, and eventually you'll make some money doing it. But focused on stop spending money to impress people that you don't care about with stupid things, right?
Grant's kind of the polar opposite.
Grant's going to be the total opposite. Grant's like, don't think about spending less, think about earning more.
Right.
Go make more money. It's your duty to make more money. Do whatever it takes, whether you hate it or not. Go do that thing, right? So, great. Who's right? I don't know. It's like, who are you going to gravitate to on those things? If you want more of Grant's mindset, then, hey, Grant's got content every day. Gary's got content every day, right? Other people have content on a regular too. Watching it, if you watch Grant Cardone every day, you'll start to think like Grant Cardone. Right? You watch Gary, same thing. You watch me, you'll start saying it's the best.
It's the best.
You'll start believing more.
It's the best. Wait for the t-shirts, guys.
Yeah, it's coming. You just will. You'll become more like that person. You'll adopt the mindset and belief system. Whatever it is you want to fix, then hang around with intention those people, even virtually. And then you go taste and touch. It's more the experience. So I remember even Grant talking about when he wanted to get rich, he would drive through fancy neighborhoods just to see what the homes were like.
Just to be surrounded by it.
Yeah, like he would go through either every day or every week just to be around it. Book one business class ticket. Book one hotel night.
I've literally, until I met Evan, until we went to New York, I have never been in business class in my life.
Oh, man.
And it was this trip from Toronto to New Jersey, which is
That's
like 45 minutes.
Flight.
So this is the thing. This is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, wow, Evan, we got business class tickets, and I'm like, I have never flown business class. Evan's like, I will not fly anything but business class.
Yeah.
So, and then I get on, and I'm like, wow, we're on the first of the plane. We had a little drink, and then Evan's like, this isn't even real business class. This is a 1-hour flight. Real business class is international. I gotta raise my standards, man. I would never even think to spend $6 or $7 or $8 or $9 grand on a ticket. I gotta raise my standards here now.
Yeah, and listen, and people listening and watching, they may not be able to afford to do that every time. And I don't know how often people are flying or anything, but taste it. Try it once.
That's the Tony Robbins thing, right? He bought that castle. He bought his castle in California.
Okay.
He spent all this money to fix it up, and he thought it was amazing. And then he was at a friend's or client's house or something who had this crazy wine cellar and this beautiful thing. And then he goes home and he's like, my castle's a dump. Holy smokes.
Okay.
Because just like that little taste of someone who's a little bit ahead, well, a lot ahead of him, made him realize, actually this happened to me too. We went to Florida for a month many years ago. My wife and I, we stayed at my grandfather's condo on the beach.
Okay.
And we lived there for a month. We brought our kids with us. I did work from remotely. And when we got home, the home that we lived in for 6 years that I absolutely loved just seemed tiny and small. And we were like, what? We can't live here. And so we literally 6 months later, we sold our house. We moved somewhere else.
You tasted it.
Yeah, no kidding. We didn't want to go back to that.
So you do that, or you if you're renting, if you're on vacation, like your last night, go to a fancier hotel. Like you might just spend 2 weeks somewhere. On the last night.
Just to feel it.
Just to taste it, because you can't afford it, right? You can't afford that yet.
This should be so easy now with Airbnbs and stuff. I know it's money, I know it's time, but in your city, you can get an Airbnb in the type of neighborhood you want to live in. Like we're in an Airbnb right now, like overlooking the lake. I walked in and I was like, this is a beautiful, I want to retire in a place like this. And everyone got mad at me for talking about retirement. But
right? Who talks about retirement?
But we're
talking retirement.
We're outside of Cleveland. We're looking at 20 feet away from us is Lake Erie. The sun was rising over here. You weren't up at sunrise. I was. Yeah. And I was like, this is what I want. I want this. This is amazing.
Great.
And I'm going to go home and not have any of this. Now I want to work for it. I know you don't want me to work for this.
Yeah. The idea was more like, oh, this is like I've lived here. I've lived here for a day. It's not some house from the outside that you look in just driving by or in a magazine or something or on TV that you feel like you're not worthy of. come back to worthiness. It's, oh, I've spent a night in here, right? Like this is, people live here. I'm living here. I could live here. It's just to start building up the worthiness, the belief. And so if you're going on a vacation, I would still do it. When we did our vacation, even this is nicer than we did most of our other stops that we went around.
This is nicer than, yes, a giant house on the lake is nicer than when we stayed in Newark in that basement apartment.
I love that too, though. Like we stayed in the most ghetto.
It was pretty
crime infested area. It was pretty rough. I love that though.
It was pretty rough.
It's the best. But honestly, if I was booking this, so Nina did all the travel. If I was booking this, I would book something even fancier.
Would you?
Yeah, just for the last day, just to I don't know how much this place costs, but it'd be like 10x the budget just to do. Yeah, just for the last day, just because.
This is why I'm having so much fun to hang out with.
But we didn't even know you were coming. That wasn't part of.
Right.
Yeah, actually, Nina tried to cancel on this place and get something else once we figured out you guys were coming and sleeping over because. Worried about spacing.
Oh, whatever. That's fine.
No, we can always make it work. Whatever, dude. Throw some couches. Fine. Sleep on it. Great. But just as the last one, when we did our last trip, we did a cruise and ended up in Miami, and then I did penthouse suite at I forget what hotel it was, like downtown Miami, looking across.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds expensive.
It was expensive,
dude. I'm really cheap.
but that's okay. And it's just the last night, right? Just to taste the next world, just to taste it. Because I wouldn't spend. I could afford it. But I'm not going to spend that much every night yet.
Dude, you won't even buy a $2 app that will save you time.
Sometimes.
I think I bought that, though. Did you buy it?
I think so.
Yes.
It's a story cutter, right?
Your concept of money is... I don't even know how to analyze how your relationship with money. Because there are things that you are very, very cheap with. I'm not going to spend money until I make money. Yeah. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to bootstrap. I'm going to do this. And then and I'm not going to get too personal or anything. But on the other side, you're just you're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. How much does this amazing house cost to rent? I don't know. Nina paid for it. How much did this tour cost you, Evan?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that is my point. Your relationship with money is next level.
Okay.
It's amazing. At some point, we have to do an episode on money.
There's still some things that are uncomfortable, like staying in that insanely fancy penthouse suite at the Miami. I forget,
don't worry about
not the JW, but
this makes for great
the fancy,
podcast
whatever. The fancy hotel felt uncomfortable. Giant space, top corner view.
Nina liked it.
Oh, everybody liked it, but
everybody.
It's
who else was there?
Me, Hayden, and Nina. Yeah,
you got the presidential suite for the three of you.
Yeah, exactly. Giant, right? And there's another room. Oh wow, there's another room, and there's TVs built into the bathroom window, mirrors and stuff, right? Yeah. Wild, right? Wild stuff. Even the way they treat you is different, right? Oh, you're staying there. Oh,
nice.
It was uncomfortable. Not used to that level.
This is my level of this. When we went to Pittsburgh, to see your event, we stayed in the hotel that your event was taking place in, and there were two options on Expedia. There was the $189 room, or there was the $240 room.
Okay.
There was no difference on Expedia between the two.
Okay.
But I was just I'm going to get the more expensive room.
Yeah.
More expensive room was a lot nicer.
Yeah.
But for us, it was oh, look, we have a living room.
Yeah.
So then when we went to Jamaica for a week, we were like, hey, what's the more expensive room get us? And again, we didn't know.
Yeah.
But I think it was $150 more for a week. So we're like, hey, we'll do this. Dude, it was so much better. And now I want more of it. But that makes me feel also very guilty because that's materialistic.
Well, that's the other side of it. The lead-in was around worthiness.
Right.
You believe...
Now I feel worthy, and now I'm worried about becoming materialistic.
Yeah. So now you need to be humble. Right? Then you raise your baseline. Just like, I feel like I'm worth X amount, right? We said, hey, if somebody drops to zero, but they'll come back up to the $50K.
So you think you're worth presidential suite. I think I'm worth $245 suite at the hotel in Pittsburgh.
Well, I'm not... consistently book in the presidential suite. It'll depend. but like the business class flights, it would have to be like last resort, no option.
Oh, it's going to be hard for me to go. Like
or with Hayden. When we fly
awesome.
Hayden, it's always back to economy. But otherwise, if I'm flying, it's business class.
Yeah.
And that's the standard.
But the other thing that all the listeners need to know is Evan is terrible at flying. We're coming in on a bouncy flight. You're getting super nauseous.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, like, hey, how's Nina doing? And you turn to me and you're like, Mark, I can't talk right now. Stop.
Yeah.
Like the most direct and upset I think I've seen you.
Really?
Where you're like, Mark, stop asking questions.
Oh, really?
Stop talking. And there's just 20 minutes of you doing like breathing methods.
That was a pretty bouncy flight, though.
Bounce in there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And then it took you like an hour afterwards.
I was at the point too where I've had so many of those experiences, and just my flight gets delayed, like just tons of negative experience. That like, you know what, I'm gonna
drive across America.
No, or just like I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go. Yeah, as other flights like going to ClimberCon, for example, is a YouTube event in Palm Springs. There's no direct flight to Palm Springs. Is nothing, right? It's the tiniest airport of all time. So it's Toronto to LA to I was looking at the flight last year. Like, unless I'm getting business class, I'm not going.
They gave you business class?
Oh no, I paid for my ticket to go.
Okay.
Yeah. It's YouTube events are.
They're not paying anything.
They don't pay speakers, like nothing. Like keynote speakers.
Gary Vee's coming in for free.
Yeah. Like
part of the community.
It's a weird. I mean, yeah. For the first couple years of it, I got asked to speak, and I said, "Well, what's your budget?" It's like, "Oh, we don't have one." Like, oh, it's like the only industry where people don't get paid to speak for whatever reason. I don't get it.
That's what they call an indicator. Like, you know how there are these little indicators that exist within the economy that you never look at. That's an indicator to how YouTubers' vertical is going. When they just don't have budget and refuse to have budget to pay anyone because they don't want to pay. They don't want to have high ticket prices to have people come out.
They're making money.
Are they?
Yeah, multiple. Okay. Like the events have been growing. I mean, at some point, maybe I guess it's when I got started. I guess it was such a community thing, which I like. But most people didn't go in with the business mindset. I've never been used to speaking and getting paid and flown around whatever to do the thing, right? So
you can't see it right now.
Anyway, so I mean, I spoke at 3 events last year.
Yeah.
Didn't get paid for anything. One of the guys is like, it's like, okay, I'll pay for your flight. It's like, okay, great. And then he's like, well, we have a budget of up to $500. Is that okay?
Whoa, that doesn't cover a flight from Toronto.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool.
They're used to American.
Awesome.
They're used to American.
And so then I have to fly down, come back, and I'm booking a business class ticket, right? After it's like, oh, I don't think I ever paid you for the flight. Like, don't worry about it. Because I also don't want to make him feel bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that just became the standard now, right?
That's the standard. We got to circle around this topic. Do you feel like we answered the topic then? I didn't even think of worthiness. I love the idea of tasting it, and then making sure that you stay humble, that you stay grounded.
But
I don't know if I have a problem leaving my friends. Like, I feel like I will drag my family with me, and if you're not coming along with me, then whatever, that doesn't bother me. But for other people who have aren't robots like us, I guess they care.
People are afraid of the humbleness thing.
They're afraid to stay humble, or they're afraid to lose the humble.
No, they're afraid to stay humble.
Oh,
and so they're afraid of, I don't want to be a snob.
Oh yeah, no, I have that.
Right, and so they don't go off and make more. I'm afraid that I'm going to be a snob and I'm going to be privileged and I'm going to raise my kids and they're going to be snobby kids too, and I don't want that. So I'm going to sabotage myself and stay where I'm at.
That perception thing worries me. I've had conversation with friends maybe a year ago where I had to do the check-in, or because I talk to people like you. I work with successful business owners. I know people who have generated like a lot of money, and I know that they've stayed humble. But this just seems very commonplace to me, and I know that if you come from a different background, I have people on my team who've come from different countries and different backgrounds who've been exposed to all kinds of terrible gang violence and things, and they just don't come from the very lucky background I come from. Of a family of entrepreneurs who were hustlers, who came here to, and made it work and were successful. They come from different backgrounds. So I do these check-ins because I don't know why, but I feel like I have to ask, Like, how do I come across? Like, do I come across like some kind of crazy, rich trust fund kid? I don't see myself that way at all. Do I come across that way? Like if something goes wrong financially, then I just, I just move through the steps of like, oh, we need a line of credit to do this, or we need to do this, or we need to gap that, or we need, like, it just, the more you have, the more access to certain things you have. And so I worry that am I alienating myself against people because I just naturally think these things and
Against which people? Who?
Friends, staff members. I worry about. When I started my business, I really wanted to be friends with everyone.
Okay.
We were small. Like I want to work with you. I want to like you. I want to be friends with you. At a certain point, I realized that I couldn't really do that. It's really, really hard to manage someone and have those hard conversations for them, not for me. I can go like, hey, we're having a boss-employee conversation now, not a friend-friend conversation. So here we go. I think it's hard for them, but
I think it's the best.
Like with my staff, like, hey, I know that I come across as crazy sometimes. This all seems totally doable to me, but do I come across as this like
it's a weird,
crazy rich
conversation?
Person? What, that I would even worry about it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird conversation. And
again, Evan, like for those of us who care what other people think, I know that you don't care what other people think, but for some of us, we do care what people think.
I'm very aware of what other people think.
Okay, I'm not. So I worry about it. So I worry about it. I have terrible perception of what people think of me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why you got to ask. That's a good quotient to increase, because asking is hard to get an
honest answer out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
so much subtext.
I've had this conversation 2 or 3 times, and no one has known how to respond.
It's weird. It's like, Mark, you're weird. What are you talking about?
I know I'm weird, dude. I know.
It's just uncomfortable. I'm feeling uncomfortable right now.
Are you? But see, it would be hard for you because if I asked you these questions, you'd be like, "No, dude, you suck in these areas." You would change it.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about, dude? Can you focus on the right things? This doesn't matter. I want to be. No, I don't know if I want to say friend because I don't care. But I'm not anybody's friend.
I love it when you
friend.
say that so much while I'm sitting right beside you. That makes me feel so good.
What?
I don't have any friends. Nina's your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nina's
I'm your friend.
You're my friend.
Thank you.
You're my friend.
Wow. It's taken 12 years, but I've earned it.
But here's the thing, like, I don't operate the same way most people do with friendships. Like, I wouldn't call you to hang out.
Although you have.
Really?
You invited me to dinner.
Very rare. How often have I invited you?
You've done it once.
Once in 12 years? Okay, so why did I invite you to dinner?
The hot pot, man. The hot pot story.
Oh, Nina must have done that. That was me.
Wow.
Yeah, Nina's very good at this stuff. Nina loves that stuff.
But see, this is also good because I don't like to hang out with people either.
Yeah, I don't want to hang out with anybody.
Like, I'd much rather say, like, hey, Evan, let's hang out for 4 hours and work on stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Shared interest.
Now we're talking about it. Connect with people through the work.
Hey, I've even said to you, like, after Tony Robbins, I was like, dude, if you ever go to a conference or anything and you want someone to come along, I will come along with you because that is fun. Like, coming here is like part act of service because it's like I want to be here to show my support to you, and part is like this is going to be a lot of fun. But if we don't hang out for 2 months in between, like that doesn't, it doesn't bother me.
But I think being with your team, I think having a good relationship where there's care is important. Not so that let's not have a caring relationship so that when we have a boss-employee conversation, it's difficult.
No, I care about people. I care about whoever's sitting in front of me. What I'm saying, there's a difference though between like friendship level. You know,
I push my friends harder than I push my non-friends.
Again, you're weird.
No, I think that's love. No, I think that's the best thing. When we were pushing your guy last night,
Jason.
Yeah, Jason's got a new camera guy, Jason, and I was going pretty hard on him.
You were going very hard. You were making him and myself very uncomfortable.
No, that's fine. He was not that uncomfortable. You were more uncomfortable than him, and I wasn't going very hard on him. Okay, I was going hard, but not very hard. Yeah, I've been way harder on you than on him.
But yesterday's the first day you met him.
No, I know, but it's fine. But
within 6 hours of meeting him, for that context,
he can handle
you were very hard on him.
No. When you said, "Hey, Evan's doing this because he cares,"
yes,
yeah, because I like him.
That's true.
Yeah, how much I push you is a symbol of how much I like you, how much I care, and people value that and they feel it
once they understand it.
But that's because he had to understand. I wouldn't have gone that hard. There's no way I'd let him walk away.
They understood, because it took me years for me to figure out that you were kicking the crap out of me because you loved me.
Yeah, but
don't years.
Don't compare you years ago to this, because I'm better at it now.
You are. Yeah,
he's not walking away from that conversation feeling like crap.
Dude, I can remember you mentioning something to me, maybe in 2010, 2011. You mentioned, we were talking about link building a long time ago. Link building.
Okay, yeah.
You warned me and Louie that we shouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
And so I stopped, but I didn't really realize how much of a negative effect it would have. I stopped. I listened to you. I stopped. Okay. And then 2 or 3 years later, Penguin came out, Google rewrote their algorithm in 2012, 2013, and Louis' business got decimated.
Yeah.
I lost, I don't know what I lost, 60% of my revenue.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, this is my fault. I should have pushed harder.
Yeah.
Like, you told us, but you didn't push hard enough.
I'm getting emotional.
And that always stuck with me. That
I'm getting emotional right now thinking about that.
Good.
Yeah, that I should have pushed harder. I wear that. That's my fault.
That's the difference between where Evan was a long time ago, and I was only a few years in my business and totally naive to whatever the impact of it. But that moment stuck with me. I don't know why it did, but it did. It stuck with me because I was impressed that you felt that it was that you're like, I 24 months ago I warned you guys about this, and I should have done more to save you guys from yourself. That's impressive. Yeah.
If you look at we were in a mastermind group for a decade or something.
12 years.
And that's close enough. And over the course of those 12 years, I got turned up more and more and more on the people in the group, especially you, because you can handle it the most, because I felt the obligation. Like, if you see somebody going down a wrong path, that through your experience you see they're going to make some mistakes, it's your obligation to help them. If they screw up, it's on you, unless you did your very best. Like, did I do my very best? If I did my very best and then you still did the thing, like, okay, I mean, I did my best. I need to get better, but I'm proud of the effort. I did my best.
But no one but you would have thought that was your responsibility to save us from ourselves.
It's rare, but it's not only me. People do it. And every time you do something like that, now you plant the seed for other people. You will now care more about others to do the same thing because of that experience, and then you'll spread that to other people. Mm-hmm. I'm not the only human who does that, but it's rare, and I think it should spread more. So I think you should be friends with the people.
You should be focused on the people who you're friends with.
Yeah,
I think what you're trying to say.
I think if you see your friends going down a path, I think that's love, and I think being able to have the awkward conversations actually strengthens the relationship when they know that it's based out of love. Mm-hmm. Me pushing you has strengthened the relationship. Yeah. I wouldn't like.
I love it.
He loves it.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm so addicted to, like, oh man. Last summer I told you, I think in August, I was like, I need more Evan in my life. And so I looked to sign up for your 3-day course, which, by the way, is happening in May in Toronto. If you want to spend one-on-one time with Evan, 3 days in a small group of people. I will be there as well.
15 people.
Doug will be there. Pretty much the whole Evan ecosystem.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
We got to figure out what we're going to call this universe. Like the
Believe Nation.
In May, in Toronto, if you want to be there, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But in August, I was like, I need more Evan in my life. And so I looked to do this thing, and it was because I like being blindsided with, I'm busy focusing on this, and you're like, no, you need to focus on this other thing. I love it. But it's a weird, sick thing. Like, to that much enjoy someone pushing you.
No, people want growth. You want love. This is love. That's what it is. And you want growth. Like, looking at your guy yesterday, if he...
Jason. Again, Jason.
Yeah, but the audience won't.
Okay, fine.
Remember. Pushing him hard, but then if he... Inevitably, people will get defensive and fight back. Mm-hmm. And then I show... The reason why this works is because I care more about them than I should. It's like, I think you're a genius. Right? I think you should go off and be doing and I'll end up naming something that is usually beyond their scope of what they think they're capable of. Mm-hmm. And then they're confused now. How's this guy who's going hard on me, who now I thought hated me, now thinks I'm like the greatest of all time? Because it's the same thing. And then recognizing the path that this harsh advice is the path to get you to here where you want to go. So when he first sat down, I'm asking a bunch of questions. And Mark's like, why are you drilling him? Is this a job interview? What's happening here right now?
Oh, it was so much like a job interview.
I'm curious about people.
Yeah.
Right? I found out stuff in 5 minutes that Mark didn't know at all. Like, he was born in the U.S.
Did not know that. Although, I didn't. I was going to say, to be fair, he may have told me and I may have forgotten. But well, don't raise your eyebrows at me, Evan. You have like a terrible memory as well.
Yes and no. I have a very selective memory.
Yes, I know.
There are whatever I deem important, I will remember, and the other stuff I don't.
What's the name of this podcast?
Yeah, something to prove.
There you
Mark
go.
Drager.
There you go. Something to prove.
Yeah, I think that's a good skill to learn, and I think you should push your friends and the people close to you, and I think you should be friends with the people on your team and be willing to have honest, awkward, hard conversations. I think for a lot of people, I'm the only one giving them the honest truth.
I'm just so worried about crushing people.
But then you build them up. Like what's a hard conversation you have to have with somebody to push them? Like they're not good at this thing. They should be doing something else. What's the conversation you're afraid to have?
So I told you about this person who was DMing me some questions about business ideas. They sent me a business idea, and right away, I could see a pretty big hole in the idea. Now,
okay, but you don't know this person,
right?
Forget about that. You can't go hard on somebody who you don't know yet.
Okay.
If there's zero context, talk about you don't want. I used to want to be friends with everyone on my team, but I'm afraid of having hard conversation with them, and I'm going to crush them. What's the conversation with somebody on your team that you're afraid to have that you're keeping them distant?
Well, now I don't have to worry about this because I have Louis to
hire a COO and then he can do it.
Heart and love and care, and he's so much better. He's so good at this. Like it's. I knew that I wasn't good at it, but I almost didn't know how awesome someone who's good at this is.
Okay, but what's the hard conversation you want to have?
I don't have problems having hard conversations with people. It's
you're going to crush them.
It's their reaction to the hard conversation.
No, but
this is the thing that I've talked to you that I'm not good about.
But then that means you have a hard time having conversation with people.
I just don't. I don't have the conversation with them for fear of crushing them.
Yeah, so you have a hard time having conversations.
Yeah. So here's a great example
because you're not building people up.
I've used in the past, so I don't.
You have to build people up. You have to bring them back up. You have to show them how much you believe in them. You can't just say you suck at this thing. If they don't feel the love, they're not going to listen to you.
So here's a conversation that I've had with someone, and I don't think they'll mind me sharing. So there's someone on my team who is in a certain role who wants to move to a different role.
Okay.
I think that they could do it, but I don't think they will do it. So then I sit down with them and I go, listen, you are here and you want to be here. Here are the skills you have to develop. Here are the things that you have to do. Here's the person you have to turn into. But this is on you. Like I cannot just give it to you, and I'm not certain you can do this.
Okay.
This is on you to prove that you can do it.
Okay.
That's the type of conversation I would have, and I don't think it's overly negative. I think it's perfectly fair, but I don't think I'm nowhere near as good as you or Louis are. There people at pouring in the positivity and the love. I'm saying here's the path for you to get from here to here. Now it's on you to do it, and you prove that you can actually do it.
But you need to understand. If you're a boss, you've had more experience than the people who are under you, running the business, personal growth, all this stuff. You need to figure out what is the best thing. Where should they? If he's not supposed to do that thing, what should he be doing? Is his best bet just to stay in his current role for life and just earn little increases in his wage every year? That's what he should be doing?
For some people, it's to actually
Not some people, this guy.
This person?
Yeah.
No, they've actually spent the last year proving that they can do it. The things that I wasn't sure that they'd be able to do, they're actually doing it.
But you need to have a belief in somebody. The thing that carries the day is your belief in them. Mark believes that I should be doing this thing and will help hold me accountable to accomplishing that thing. I'm pissed at your camera guy, who I love now.
Jason.
Has to leave. He has to leave. I'm pissed. Like, he wants to be a cinematographer guy, only a camera guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to edit, doesn't want to do any of the otother work.
But we know he's going to outgrow our work.
I know, but it bothers me. But I know that, but it also means, like, I would push him away.
Yeah.
You need to get out of here. Because you want to go off and do this thing.
We're probably going to end up doing that, yeah. We will. Sorry.
You will. You will.
End up doing that.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But I would put, like...
But it doesn't mean for the next little bit that we can't still work together and learn.
Of course.
He's going to outgrow the work.
But here's the thing. Now, being around you, this is what happens to me. Being around me is, people like it. It's infectious. It's amazing. The energy, awesome, great. It's actually limiting for some people. Mm-hmm. You need to go away. Mm-hmm. You can't be with me anymore. Mm-hmm. For you have to go do that thing.
People will accuse you of saying that that's just you rationalizing it, but I understand what you're saying.
No, I'll kick them out.
Yeah.
You have to go do that thing.
Yeah.
Because your guy, as much as he may love spending 2 days a week with Mark and energy and ideas and camaraderie and Fanta and extraordinary and all this stuff, ultimately wants to do something else. And this is a comfort zone now thing, which is great and also enjoyable. Your job is to push him away and say, you need to go off and do that thing. But the other situation with the guy who you have to prove himself, what's your vision for his career? You give none. I see you as I think you're able to do this amazing thing. You're saying, I don't know, I think you can do it, but I don't think you're going to do it.
Yeah, okay. I'll do a better job next time of explaining. I don't want to speak in specifics because I'm sharing confidential stuff that.
Well, then don't. You said
you were the one who pushed me for this example.
No, I did not push you.
Yes, I was going to use an old example that would be safe to use, and you're like, no, give me a real example. So
it has to be something where you have a vision for this person. You can't. If I can't see where somebody's going, I don't push them at all.
When people come to me and they say that I want to move here, and I can see that path working for them, but I'm not sure if they are going to give it the effort to do it, because you have to humble yourself in this new role. You have to be willing to try new things. You have to be willing to admit you don't know things. You have to be willing to suck.
Okay, but you have to see that they're going to crush it in that position. If
they have to bring that crushiness. I can't give them the ability to crush it.
You can help them. You can hold them accountable. You can inspire them through your work, but you have to believe in them being able to accomplish that thing.
They can accomplish it if they bring it.
You're so focused on that.
My wife can do amazing things.
Okay.
If she takes the first step. I can't make her take the first step.
No.
What I can do is I can see all of these, here's a year from now, here's what life looks like, and here's how amazing it's going to be, and here's the ups we're going to have, and here's the downs we're going to have. But I don't know if you're going to bring the first step. This is on you. This is on you to take the first step. I don't know if you're going to do it or not. It's up to you.
I think you need to lean more in on the belief.
Of course you would. That's your one word.
No, but all I'm hearing is the negative. I don't know if you could do it.
This is why I suck at this.
Yeah, but if people don't feel the love, they're already doubting themselves. They don't need you to doubt them as well.
Okay.
They're sitting there.
How did we get on this topic? We were talking about fear of success, and we've just blown through all of our 3-question time, which I hadn't prepared anyway. But yeah.
Okay, go. Rapid fire, 3 questions.
Rapid fire? No, we're going to go on to listener questions because we don't have that much time left.
Oh, okay.
Why was your live so short yesterday? It's a very specific question.
Because I do lives when I'm at each event, and people started showing up, so we stopped. I stopped short on event day.
Where are you now?
We're in Cleveland,
Ohio. Those are the questions. Put the questions in the chat. And
where are you going?
I need to grab something. So I saw Posh in there.
Oh, okay, nice.
I feel like this is amazing for our podcast listeners.
I'm wearing my hoodie, Posh. This is it. This is the one she made.
Posh, are you still there? Say hi if you're still there. So Posh Notions came out to Pittsburgh event, the very first event.
One.
She was the first person to attend the first event, and then she came out yesterday with her kids.
She's there. She said hi.
Posh. And so this joke came up on the podcast of calling me the Dragosaurus. And so Posh made...
How come you're not wearing your shirt, dude?
Because
I'm wearing mine.
It's freezing.
Whatever,
it's
dude.
freezing in here. So Posh makes this shirt for me, which is totally amazing. It's got a dinosaur on it, and it says, Dragersaurus, think big, be bold, say yes. And then on the back, she gave all these nice adjectives that I wouldn't even use to describe myself.
I like the font. The K font is next level.
This is super, super, super nice. So the reason this blows me away is I am not like...
You like acts of service.
I love acts of service. It's my love language.
Service, yeah.
But more than that, this is all new for me. This is all fresh for me. Like, this is literally the first thing anyone has ever given me for being on social media.
There you go, Posh Notions.
It is amazing. This will literally, I will hold on to this forever.
Okay.
Because it's the first thing that anyone has ever given me because of this little bit of thing that we're doing together.
Right.
Which is amazing. So it says kind, compassionate, multi-talented, caring, fun-loving, respected, one of a kind. Thank you, Posh Notions, so much for this. I don't even know if you're going to know how much it means to me.
It means a lot.
It means a lot to me.
Although the Dragosaurus, the initial reason why I called him Dragosaurus,
it's fast, it's agile.
He was because he's a slow, lumbering, like giant dinosaur that barely moves. This is his problem. He needs to get fast. He needs to get emotionally comfortable with speed. Mm-hmm. And so then you got drawn as this T-Rex.
Yes.
I guess T-Rexes aren't that fast though. They're big and mean, but they're not that fast.
It's a pretty awesome shirt.
It's an awesome shirt.
It's definitely representative of...
What's that dinosaur with the long neck and the long tail?
We called them long necks in the land before time. I don't know
what's it actually called?
I don't know.
Brontosaurus or something?
I don't know.
Long ones. Like imagine the biggest one of all time.
Leaf eating. They were called.
Yeah. The gentle leaf eating,
slow,
long tail, like that's the Dragosaurus. But you know what? That's the aspirational Dragosaurus T-shirt.
Yes, this is
there.
who I will become.
Exactly. That's who he's on his way to becoming.
Brontosaurus, Posh says.
The Brontosaurus. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it should have been. But that's who he's becoming, so we're happy.
Aw, thank you, Posh. She says, literally crying with you, laugh out loud. I'm so happy you like it. It's amazing. Thank you.
But Posh, I'm actually wearing mine.
Mine is going to be framed.
I want to see it. Frame it, put it in the office.
Excellent. Evan, how's the neck? That's what people want to know.
Mike's getting better. Last night was really rough. That was hard.
You looked like you couldn't even breathe.
Yeah, I was. My entire upper back was like frozen and in pain. That was brutal.
It just disappeared.
And I didn't sleep that well. But anyway, feeling good now. Oh, we got 20 seconds left, Mark.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, see, so there we go. 20 seconds left.
You're listening to the Something Approved podcast with Mark Drager and Evan Carmichael. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
What the hell was that?
Inspired. If you want to see the last episode of my podcast with Mark, it's fire. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. The struggle is good. You want to struggle. All great things were done by people who struggle.
I think people don't even know that they hate their lives.